Welcome into the Speeding in the Pits podcast with your hosts, myself, Wyatt Williams, and Connor Clon Huberty. Clon, how are we doing today, buddy?
We're good, man. Recording on a Monday, so kind of knocking some cobwebs out yet, but we're ready to roll, man.
Hey, look at it this way. We're now closer to the race, so it's fresher in your mind. It helps.
That's a good way to put it. The problem is I'm used to doing this on a Wednesday or maybe even a Thursday, so I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, oh, sweet. It's Wednesday/Thursday/Friday, and yeah, it might make the week
Be eerily disappointed to find out that it's Tuesday.
Yeah, there's a chance. But that's all right.
That's tough. I only work a 4-day week this week, not to flex or anything, but I'm excited.
That's nice.
I'm excited. I'm off on Friday. I'm dry, but I'm not. It's not for like I'm not like I don't know how to explain. Like I'm very excited, but like it's not like you're off and you're done. You know, it's like we gotta. Once we get off, we're driving straight to Indiana. So getting everything together for the bridal shower.
Oh man. You'll really enjoy that. Yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing. Vacation. I had no clue that was a thing. So,
buddy, it's a thing. It's a thing. All right. Are you doing is it a co-ed joint shower, or is this you're going to help set up and have to go sit around and hide at a gas station for 6 hours or something?
No, it's co-ed. So it's both. Okay. So
that'll be good.
I will be yanked away from the lake while I'm trying to catch some monster bass, unfortunately. So
well, there's a drawback, but it'll be fun, I'm sure.
I'm honestly, I'm excited. I'm excited to go back and see everybody. It's gonna be a good time. I'm just making a joke, but
yeah, you heard that, right? Family and everybody else.
Yeah, right. So we are headed back this weekend, but this previous weekend, Denny Hamlin had a great weekend. He comes through and wins at Martinsville. First time in a very long time, even though it has been one of the best drivers at the track. You just don't really feel like it or see it because he hasn't been getting those, wins to push that narrative, So people kind of forget, like, this is still the nastiest driver that we have at Martinsville, and then he comes through and wins, and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Denny Hamlin is elite at Martinsville.
Yeah, definitely one of the best short track drivers of this quote unquote current generation, or you call him last generation if he's one of the old guys now, which is still weird to me. But yeah, saw that stat on Sunday. It's been 10 years since he won at Martinsville. That is shocking.
That's nuts, dude. Honestly, that's crazy. Was the last time
he did that. So
you just made me mad that 2015 was 10 years ago. Oh,
yeah, there's that too. It makes you realize how far time has kind of traveled here from.
What year did you graduate high school?
2015.
No, really?
That spring when I graduated was the last time he won, which is crazy that was 10 years ago. But
that's wild.
Yeah, man. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, even without knowing that or even realizing it, you go to Martinsville every year, you immediately pick Denny as one of the favorites, or even honestly, I'd argue any of the short tracks, he's one of the first 4 or 5 guys you're going to take every time. Like, it just proved that that's still true, I guess. It just finally shows with a win. It's not like it's disappeared. So
right. Well, who did pick him last week when we made our picks, right?
I was trying to think of this. I couldn't remember, and I honestly wanted to go back and watch the episode yesterday because I thought I did. But I thought of it as soon as he won. I was like, I think I actually picked him. So
I looked right over at Nikki and I was like, oh, Clon picked Denny.
Hell yeah.
It's like, yes. And then we had the incredible moment, Clon, for a Buckeye fan like myself. I've got an Ohio State helmet up there. If you can, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's see.
There you can see it. Oh yeah, I like how I'm turning my head like I'm gonna look like
right there. So yeah, he gets the win, comes out with the 11 against the world, which is a nice gesture to the Ohio against the world flags. If you listen to Denny's podcast,
I have thoughts on this, but continue. I'll let you finish.
Don't do this to me, Clon. No.
Keep going. I don't think you're gonna. It's not what you think. But keep going. But to you, Ohio State fans,
he and his buddies went to the Ohio State their national championship run. I almost said tournament run. Their national championship run through it's weird though. Like when I think tournament, I think basketball. When I think
100%.
playoff, it's football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like
NFL's
it's still a
tournament
playoff,
too,
it's still a tournament, but it's just like in my head, I don't know. I designate it that way. But anyways,
100%.
they went through the whole run, going to all the games. They had an Ohio against the world flag. They were taking to every single game. Well, Ohio State wins the Natty, and Jack Sawyer actually personally asked for Denny's flag. So Denny gave that flag up. Well, in the following week, he said, hey, I might just have to give myself an 11 against the world flag and display it once I get the win. And he's going to put the Buckeye leaves on the helmet. Big stuff, Clon. OH.
I don't get it. I'm not doing that. But so that's where I was going with this. When I saw that happen after the fact, I actually shut the race off quick, had to run upstairs in our house after it as Denny crossed the line. Like literally just saw him win, saw the flag a couple hours after the fact. And I was going to text you. As an Ohio State fan, how do you feel about that? So like I said, I have thoughts, but I want you from your perspective first.
I personally love it. I love it because it has to do with the Buckeyes, and the Buckeyes actually sent him the Buckeye leaves that they put on their helmets for big plays. Mm-hmm. They actually sent him an official sticker pad to put on his helmet whenever he gets wins. So he has those two. So like he's almost buying into the culture, Like I'm all for that. I like it. It's cool. And he was like he
hadn't watched an Ohio State game up until the playoffs. That's the guy you want adopting your culture and broadcasting it to the world is.
Hey,
again, I'm just asking.
All publicity is good publicity, Clon.
That's a good way to put it. Okay. I don't really have a problem with it either. I understand where Denny's coming from, that like he needs motivation and he needs to talk shit to have like, I guess, a motivation anyway. But at the same time, to me, it feels really weird because, and I don't know the national fan presence of NASCAR very well anymore. I haven't been to a race now, I guess, since last summer, but Chicago was a little bit different, but it doesn't feel like Denny's that hated. Like if Kyle Busch in 2011 came out with a flag that said that after he won, that's fitting because the whole place hated him. Where Denny, is he? And I don't know. Maybe I'm completely missing. Is he that? It just feels weird that he's got this me versus everybody mentality. But again, if he needs to be competitive, more power to him. I don't care how you find it, but it just feels kind of out of place a little bit. But I don't know. Like Ohio State had more of a reason. I think maybe
because of the Michigan loss.
Yeah, but now that I think about it, I don't know if they really. Yeah, I guess that how they acted after the Michigan loss, I think, is more why they had the world on them. But yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know. The whole thing seems weird because Ohio State too. Like you had the world against you, and you got seeded poorly because you lost to Michigan. Like that's why you got seeded poorly. But anyway, not a football podcast. But yeah, now that I think about it, the whole against the world thing is kind of weird. But
that's like that's been their motto. Like even before that, like they've
was it?
That's always the thing is Ohio against the world.
Okay, well then, see, that's why I'm asking because that makes more sense than if that's always how it is. But yeah, Denny's just like I saw the flag, I was like, is that what it? I thought it said something else right away, and I was like, that's what it says against the whole world. Like it's not like we went into the season and Denny got ranked 40th out of 40 drivers. Everybody still thinks he's pretty good. Like I don't know.
I think
you got to do, but
yeah, for sure. And to expand on what you were saying, like. I don't think he's hated like he was like if we went back a couple of years ago, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think that was kind of a different situation with, people hating him. Because he kind of, after Kyle switched to RCR, NASCAR kind of needed a new.
Everybody kind of pointed their finger at him,
villain, and he was kind of the first guy. And it all started when he wrecked Chase. When he wrecked Chase, that's when everybody kind of turned on him.
2017. See, but that's what I guess that's what I'm thinking of is like 2017. People didn't like him, and now that's
what I'm saying. Like now it's kind of different. It's not as much now. Like when I don't know. Like when you think back to his most recent win at Pocono, he posted the picture of like the entire crowd flipping him off.
Yeah, he did that again. He did that again a little bit on his story on Instagram. I saw yesterday. Right, too. There was a couple guys. Yeah,
Right. So and it was, but now it's more like a mixed bag now. Like it's kind of like there's still obviously the haters and stuff like that out there for him.
Maybe I just don't
But
hate Denny Hamlin. Maybe that's the problem.
yeah,
Maybe that's
right?
why I'm like,
Me either.
I don't see it.
No, me either. That's why, like, I don't know. I think it's definitely shifting though. It's not what it has been over the last couple seasons. It's definitely headed in a different direction now. And I think it's because of his podcast. Honestly, I think like
Yeah.
getting
Which is
a
typical.
open door look at who he is and what he sees, looks for in racing and everything like that, it just gives you a different perspective, and you almost start to feel like you know the guy kind of thing, you know, if that makes sense. And I think that's what people are doing.
That's interesting you say that though too, because I was talking to, maybe it was even you I was talking to, but we know somebody, and jog my memory if this is right, but we know somebody that watched the Netflix show from last season, or what would have been 2 years ago now, because God forbid they released last year's on time. We're still waiting for that.
Stupid.
Anyway,
Isn't it coming out in April? I haven't seen anything about that. That comes out in a month.
I think it comes out in the next, like 5 weeks at least. Yeah, it might be May, but I don't know. I can look at that too. But there was somebody we know
It'll be halfway through the damn season,
and it made him hate Denny. But I never really got that vibe.
Really?
Maybe more people see it that way. I can't remember who I was talking to somebody else, and I don't remember who I was talking to, and they were like, "Yeah, watching the Netflix thing made me hate Denny because he seemed just like everything had to be so perfect and had to be his way and like all this stuff." And I don't know. Like,
yeah, I guess
I can see where somebody would think that, but
yeah.
I don't hate him.
It's like it's almost like the image that like Netflix kind of painted him in was like, yeah, that's his like image and his mantra, but it's not like to the degree where like
he was the most inviting one for the show too. He was the one that allowed the cameras in the most places of his life. So like you're getting a pretty real look at him. But
yeah, no, for sure, and that's what I think. Like I think like the storytelling aspect of it kind of came through, and I don't want to say they made him the villain, but they made him the villain of it kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then in the end kind of made you feel bad for the villain whenever he's laying on his bed and he's on the verge of tears and his daughters are next to him and he, you know, lost out of the playoffs. It's like, oh, wow, this sucks for this guy. So that's, I don't know. I think it's just the image that they had kind of painted somewhat to make it more of a story kind of thing with, oh, here's these big personalities. And again, that is definitely part of Denny Hamlin's mantra is almost like the villain arc, but like it's not to like that much of a degree, you know?
Right. Yeah, no, that's exactly where I've been with it too. But hey, if there's that many people out there that hate him and Denny's embracing it like this, I love it. And hats off. I don't know. I've just reached that stage in my life, I think, where I no longer hate like you said, the villain. Like I kind of cheer for him. So
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it. If that's what we got, that's what we got. I was just genuinely curious because I was like, I didn't realize that many people actually hated the guy, but great. I love it. Go ahead. I don't hate him. So
absolutely. Clon, I just realized, call me crazy. We've been talking on this show and pre-show now for probably what?
Half hour, more than that.
A little over a half hour, a little like 40 minutes, right? I just noticed you got a rockin' mustache going right now.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
I just caught it. I was like, whoa.
We had an 80s party over the weekend, so
nice.
I embraced it with open arms, and I actually like it. So it might,
dude, it looks good. Here. I like it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You should keep it.
I think I might for a little bit here. I have a presentation.
Yeah, dude. How's the wife feel about it?
I don't think she likes it, and I don't think work would love it either when I get up and have to talk. So I might have to get rid of it, but I don't know. For now,
Clon just joins the next show completely baby-faced.
No, never. I refuse. I won't. I go from 28 to 16 when that happens, and I can't stand it. So yeah, no, I'll never be bare shaven completely on my face ever. That's not going to happen.
We should do a bare shaven Clon episode.
No. I'd put it on the line towards the end of the year if we have to like pick a champion or something. I'd put it on the line as like a bet that I'd be willing to lose, but that's like I'd have to lose something somewhat substantial. Like I'm not just doing it for nothing. I mean that. Like I'd refuse to do that. I can't go clean shaven. It's against my being. Not willingly.
And, strong feelings about babyface Clon.
When NASCAR announced Full Speed's getting a season 2 for release on Netflix this year, they actually never put a date on it. So we don't really know when that's coming out. That might be July.
Great.
Yeah.
So it's just not gonna happen. Awesome.
Maybe it just won't happen. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll actually tweet at Jeff Gluck after this to see if we can get an update there.
Okay, we'd love to hear about the show that we were all promised and went really well.
2024 season recap is coming anytime soon, because the 2025 season's already almost a third of the way over. So sooner or later,
we're kind of underway, dude.
Yeah, things are happening already, but whatever.
That's great. Okay, moving on here. We had some fiery exchanges over the weekend. We will start, since we're still in the Cup Series, with Tyler Reddick, Ty Gibbs. Did you have any issue with that situation, either of them being mad, anything like that?
The one problem I do have is if you listen, and it's not fair to drivers in this day and age, because you can hear their audio way more accessibly and easily than you could in the 80s or the 70s. I am getting kind of sick of the younger drivers saying, I'm going to beat the crap out of that guy after this race. Don't let him near me, kind of thing. And then the race ends and nobody even touches each other. Like Tyler Reddick actually just handled it super calmly.
Put your money where your mouth is, buddy.
Exactly. That's my biggest takeaway is I'm sick of hearing guys on the radio like, oh, when this thing's over, man, I'm going to go punch that guy right in the face. And like, you won't. No, you won't. And it's easy for me to say, would I either? Probably not, but like, I'm not saying it. So I can call people out for saying it. So yeah, just sick of the non-altercation. But no, I don't think anybody, like Tyler Reddick didn't really do anything wrong. He came over to apologize afterwards calmly too, which he didn't really owe much of an apology. So, I mean, Ty Gibbs left the door open for him. So he kind of asked for it. But yeah, I don't know. Again, the biggest takeaway for me is when you hear stuff like that nowadays, and it seemingly happens every race, you just don't get any result for it. I miss the days where Jeff Gordon was jumping over the hood of a car to go beat the crap out of somebody, or Tony Stewart was throwing a helmet through a guy's windshield, or trying to anyway. And like, that doesn't happen. That was half the fun when tensions ran high, was what happened afterwards.
I am going to find something right now. You just
I knew I started something here. Yeah, I knew I started something with how you were reacting. But yeah, I can keep going on it. I think that's part of the issue. And we'll talk more about this here with our next topic too. But I think that's part of the problem is you don't see the consequences handed back by the victim on the track, dishing out some physical punishment after the race. I think that's part of the reason we're seeing the things we did this weekend, and between all series, between truck race even too. But yeah, definitely the Xfinity series on Saturday, and then a little bit of the Cup race on Sunday, because there's just no consequence anymore of like, I'm going to get in a fight for this, just get to go dance around and go to next week like nothing happened.
We need to extend the race to.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There's
the GOAT. Yeah, I know exactly.
He wants to about everybody else, and he's the one that drives like a little. I'm gonna bust his ass. They exited out on the World Outlaws, and there's a reason for that, because Goodyear can't build a tire that's worth the crap. This is winning the 500.
Yep, this is the man.
I don't know, rocket scientist. I mean, I'm sitting here with a backup car. What do you think? I learned my lesson there. I'm gonna run over him every chance I got from now to the end of the year. Every chance I got. Championship battle in the making. He better be worried. That's all I gotta say. He ain't gonna have an easy 3 weeks. I'll wreck my mom to win a championship. I'll wreck your mom to win a championship. What happened?
The
kid's an idiot. He wins one Busch race and he's a Cup driver now. What the hell's wrong with you?
Wait,
Climb over this counter and come beat your ass.
I tell you what, just line both of them up. I'll whip their ass by myself together. I don't care. I'll take them both on.
Oh my God, dude.
I think we miss a little bit of that.
Oh, dude, when you said that's the first video I thought of. That is one of my favorite videos ever.
It's one of the best.
Oh, Tony Stewart, just an absolute living, breathing legend. Just a legend, dude.
Oh yeah.
Wait, you a fan of him or something?
Yeah, slightly. You would never believe it, judging by the Tony Stewart car I had painted on my wall as a kid. But yeah, just a little bit.
Guess what? No, real quick. This is actually kind of off topic, but on topic for Tony Stewart.
You're painting a car in your house.
I am. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No,
all right.
I'm just kidding. This lady, like an hour south of us, posted on Facebook Marketplace NASCAR hat signed at track. And I'm like, what? And it says $30. So I'm like, okay. So I look at the listing and I'm like, hey, are the autographs real? She's like, yeah, 100%. My dad's brother or something went to a NASCAR race that I can't remember where it was. She said that he got pit passes and got them all signed. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, can you send me pictures of the autographs? So she sends pictures of the autographs. Tony Stewart, Matt Kenseth, Casey Kane,
Right, that's the hat.
Dale Jarrett.
Legend.
Who else?
Legendary
Who else?
hat here.
Dude, there was like 8 or 9 signatures on this, and it was all Cup Series drivers from the early 2000s.
Oh, it's perfect. It's
Dude, like
about
I
as good
was
as you can get it. Yeah.
like stunned. I was like, I like texted her again. I was like, are
you sure?
Like, they're authentic? They're real? Like they're real auto? She's like, yeah, 100%. I'm like, I'll take it.
I'm in.
I'll take it. So
Yeah,
I will
stole
be
that too.
So I will be snagging that. And like I said, she only wanted $30 for it. I was like,
Oh yeah, that's easy. I'd have done
I'm like, you sure you don't want 50? I'll give you 50.
it. Yeah. Are you sure you know what you're selling? Do you have any idea?
Okay, anyway, so
No,
now
good for
moving
you,
on
man.
to the actual craziness of the weekend. You're talking about guys needing their A-words busted, as Mr. Tony Stewart says. What even was the Xfinity Series race? I mean,
That
sometimes
was me playing PlayStation is what the Xfinity Series race was.
oh, literally, it was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like it's embarrassing. That's what I'll say. It is embarrassing that is like that we have drivers in our sport, guys that will be taking over the sport in the coming years and becoming the next guys of this sport, right? We have these guys now thinking that stuff is okay. That from 3 car lengths back with the white flag in the air, headed into turn 3 and 4 at Martinsville, you can just clean clock the car in front of you. I mean, are we even racing anymore? Or are we playing bumper
No.
cars? I have no clue, genuinely. And I understand NASCAR is waiting till this week to make a decision, but
They might as
there
well
needs to
now.
be
They waited for a month and a half anyway to make a decision, so you might as
Right.
well take a couple more days.
Right. But my problem is, like, if it's clear and obvious, if it's egregious, if you watch it and your stomach starts to turn a little, which any NASCAR fan that's been a NASCAR fan for longer than 2 weeks would be like, yeah, that doesn't look right. If that happens, okay, the Austin Dillon situation, this situation, on the spot, something needs to be done. Like right there, before we leave the track, there needs to be some way, some form of punishment that we have for that, whether if it's their black flag, whether if it's they don't score a single point for that race, whether if it's their black flag and a lap down to lose some extra points, whether if it's a fine right there at the track, whatever it may be.
Should be all basically everything you just said should immediately happen.
It just cannot be allowed, and it cannot be okay. And I understand it's not as bad as the Austin Dillon situation, but it's as close as it gets.
Dude wrecked more cars.
He did. The only thing that he didn't do that Austin did was right rear someone.
Mhm.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? How in the world RCR is involved in both of those 2 incidents is crazy to me.
I know. I don't know. I'm honestly to the point, man, where it's like watching that. I try to, and a lot of times on the show, and I almost do it to a fault too many times, where I try to compare what happened in the past 20 years ago to today, just as a measuring stick. Up until, I don't know, what would you say, 4 or 5 years ago, a finish like that wasn't even imaginable. That wasn't a thing that somebody would try. And
no,
like you said,
I don't think that like you would have
Austin,
the balls to try that, because a guy like Tony Stewart would say, hey, I'm going to go rip his head off and then show up at your pit box and rip your head off.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I was talking about. We missed that. But I don't know about you. I think we can count on two hands the amount of times we've seen a finish similar to that now at a short track in the last 5 years, between all three series, of course, not just one or the other, but across the sport. It's sickening to see how many times stuff like this has happened.
Phoenix
Was
2023,
that like
right?
last year or 2 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, Phoenix Fall 2023, the championship race. That one comes to mind.
Yep, that one was good too.
That would come straight to mind. That was a demolition derby. That wasn't even a race.
No, we were talking about that before the show too, before we started recording. Like, NASCAR's made a lot of decisions the last 20 years or last 10, 15 years even. And we've talked about some other ones here, probably to a fault. One that they maybe need to go back on is not letting Cup guys run as many Xfinity races and truck races as they want. They put that rule in probably 7 years ago to keep Kyle Busch from winning 40% of the Xfinity races every year.
From winning the truck Xfinity and Cup Series championship in the same season. Yeah,
legit. Like, and he would have won the first two without even showing up by the end. It would have been such a joke.
He could have not shown to the final 5 races of the year.
The dude's win rate, for those that haven't been following the sport for that long or just don't know, Kyle Busch in the Xfinity series, or especially the truck series about 5 to 7 years ago, was his win percentage was like 60 to 70%, I bet. He'd win more races than
it was crazy.
Finish in his career. It's unbelievable. The numbers are unreal. Like, I don't know, man. That's why NASCAR put that rule in, was to let those other series have somebody else win every once in a while. It literally is called the Kyle Busch rule, quote unquote. But I honestly think we need to go back. I think we have, even if somebody does that to the series, I think it's okay. It's better than what this is, because we need veterans out there to kind of help police this and set an example and be a resource for the younger guys on the track or at the track. And we're missing that voice. Justin Allgaier even kind of talked about it after the race. He's definitely the most successful vet anyway in the Xfinity series. I hope I didn't forget anybody, but he even said, he's like, I'm not big enough of a person. I think he meant that as like a figure, to help police this stuff. And yeah, I just wish we had a little bit more of that, because Mark Martin talks about all the time, like the art of racing and the respect and decorum you have for drivers out there. Like, that's all gone right now. And this weekend overall, but especially Saturday, like, that just makes it so obvious that that's the case.
Yeah, it 100% does. It was just, I don't know. I guess I'm speechless with the
it's that bad.
The ending result. It's just, I don't know. I really don't. I wish I had a better response other than just shock, because I just stared at the TV.
Just brutal.
No,
it is.
No,
literally,
that did not just happen. Like,
no, and it was exactly that. It was truly something. The first thing I thought of when I saw it is, oh, that's me when I was 9 years old playing NASCAR Thunder 2004 and getting past, coming to the line, and I'm like just wrecking everybody.
No,
that was exactly what I thought of.
Boom!
9-year-old me would have thought of doing that. It's crazy.
He can't beat me if he's in the wall.
Yeah, I'll just wreck everybody.
That's an easy way to win.
Oh, it didn't work there either, actually, shockingly, but it was worth a shot.
It was. Moving on here to our final thing about the races this weekend at Martinsville. We've got tires, Clon. Tires.
Conversation.
What do you think about tires, buddy?
I thought it was pretty good, actually. And if it truly is the softest tire Goodyear can make, it wasn't a perfect race. It got a little stale at times. Guys couldn't catch each other. But like we talk about every week, it's not just the tire's fault. It's not just the track's fault. It is the car's fault, too. But I'm not even going to get into it.
Clon loves the next-gen car.
Yeah, I do think the tire was pretty good. I mean, if that's what Martinsville is for all eternity, hopefully when it gets hotter out, the tires wear quicker or something this fall. But I don't know. It was fine. Like I wouldn't want to watch it every Sunday, but if it's part of the schedule, it's not that bad. I thought it was entertaining still. So certain guys could pass. Just it wasn't great enough. But again, all those other factors played a role.
What do you think about the option tire after watching that race?
I don't know. I still my thoughts haven't really changed on it because yeah, it might work here these first few times we do it, and you're gonna see guys pick different tires at different times, and tires themselves are going to be handled differently with the way the cars are set up and things like that. Those things all play small roles in this. I still think a couple of years from now, you're going to have the strategy and the system so studied and so researched that everybody's going to do the same thing at the same time because statistics will say blah, blah, blah. You know, hey, with 50 to go and you pit, these tires are the fastest every time. Or like the guy that took options first and then primary second was faster than vice versa. And you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it'd maybe help, but again, then we're just throwing more band-aids at this thing. And that's not what I want to do. So yeah.
Right.
Would it have helped yesterday? Probably, but overall, I don't think it's worth it.
No, I'm right there with you. I think if we did do anything with an option tire, I don't think we should get more than one set. It should be something where it opens the playbook up just a little bit, you know, maybe something like a set to throw on at the end or something like that. I don't know, throw them on whatever you want. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of people. I saw a lot of people really calling for the option tire, saying like, this is why we need the option tire.
Well, because God, I'm sorry to interrupt you again.
No, you're good. Go ahead, buddy.
What I think those people are seeing is, yeah, it worked at Phoenix and improved on what we've seen at Phoenix. But if we all keep in mind what that is right now, that's next to nothing. So any improvement there is good. And yeah, would it have probably helped yesterday? Probably. I'm not disagreeing with you for yesterday, but then do we just only use it twice forever and we're done? You know, this can't be every short track we go to. Oh, we're just going to have an option tire. That strategy will be out. The system will be outworked and outthought in no time. They will know by the fifth time they do this or the next time they come back to a certain track. Like, nobody's going to be on different tires at different times. Everybody's going to be on the same stuff at the same time. And it's going to be very, very obvious that it just won't move the needle anymore. It won't work.
Yeah.
It's a literal flash in the pan for a couple weeks and then it'll go away.
Yeah, no, I do not disagree with you one bit. Moving on here to NASCAR Insights. We're going to play a little game here, Clon, okay? First off, let's explain what NASCAR Insights are. So basically, NASCAR has introduced this new platform program, something. Yes, exactly. The next gen. It's been great. Clon loves it. They base all drivers on 4 skill rankings. So passer rating, defensive ranking, speed rating, and restart ranking. And they've got the further details on their Instagram if you would like to go check out how those are each kind of, you know, gone after. Just to give a quick example, like restarts, they look at like the position you're in and the position you end up after the restart's done, if that makes sense. So speed, they look at your long run speed, short run speed. Clon's personal favorite, though, is the clean air speed versus the dirty air speed. Tell them how much you love it, Clon. How much do you love it?
The fact that we have to track that as a stat is ridiculous.
Defensive rating has to do with how well you can keep cars behind you while they're within a certain car length, and then passer rating is, can you pass cars? Okay, it's not rocket science, guys. We got this. Okay, Clon, here's our game. I have sitting in front of me 5 random drivers, okay? And they have all been ranked in passing, defense, speed, and restarts. I am going to give you one statistic from each of the 5 drivers and a number, and you have to tell me if their rank is higher or lower than that number.
Okay.
Sound good?
That sounds good.
Okay, let's do this. So we'll start with Christopher Bell.
Dog,
right? Speed is his ranking you're guessing here. Out of the entire field, the best 36, okay? Where does he rank? And the number is 5.
This year, I'd say higher.
Higher.
Higher than 5. Yeah, he's won 3 races.
That's true. What number? Let's just hear what are you thinking here. What number?
I mean, I'd probably go like 2 or 1 or 2. I said that kind of backwards, but
that's a good guess. That is a good guess. Unfortunately, Clon, he is lower. He is the 6th fastest. Talking about speed. Clon, you have to throw in the clean and dirty air. Come on, man. You gotta calculate for clean and dirty air.
Thing. Yep. That's great. Glad we know. Glad we have to know. That must be the problem for him. It must be that clean air speed or something. God forbid.
Okay.
Our car wasn't so bad in dirty air we wouldn't have to keep track of it, but here we are. It's so bad that we have to give justification as to why the best drivers in the sport can't pass each other, and that's because of the thing called dirty air, and now we have to quantify that. What a joke. All right, whatever. Who's next?
Next, we have Kyle Larson. Oh, man, that's good stuff.
Every week, they just find a way. But, all right.
Kyle Larson, when talking passing, is his number that I'll give you here, you got to go higher or lower, is 11.
This for the full year already?
Yes, this is for 2025 season averages.
See, he hasn't had that good of a year, but he's passed a lot of cars, so probably higher than 11. He's probably
higher than 11?
I'd say like 6 or 7. 6.
He is in 12th, Clon. He's lower. He's lower.
I guess he is.
Isn't that crazy?
He's won a race, but he hasn't had the greatest start to the year ever, I guess.
It's been, yeah.
I'm going to argue with it.
And I forgot. We'll go through their rankings as we go. So Christopher Bell is 2nd in passing, 14th in defense, 6th in speed, and 4th in restarts. Kyle Larson is 12th in passing, 2nd in defense, 2nd in speed, and 3rd in restarts.
Brad Keselowski is probably 36th in all those.
He probably is, actually.
Just thinking of guys that are having bad years, like Brad's had. RFK kind of in general, but Brad's been horrible. That guy's got to be low. I don't know if you can see everybody, but he's got to be low 20s and everything.
I cannot see everybody. I've only got 5 here in front of me, unfortunately, and Mr. Kaz Bradlowski is not on this list.
If it's anything, if pointing out positives, he probably shouldn't be, but yikes. Talk about bad year. Sorry, Brad. I didn't mean to catch you on a stray like that. But
shots at Brad Keselowski.
Kind of had it coming.
Coming from Clon. Next, we have William Byron, and we will go with his restarts ranking. Clon, the number is 2. Higher or lower?
Well, I'll go lower. I don't think he's that good at restarts. But now I feel like I'm getting reverse psychology into not picking higher, but I'll go with lower anyway. That's the guess.
Lower?
Yeah.
Currently 0 for 2, Clon. Are we going to be 0 for 3 or are we 1 for 3?
Nah, we can go.
Clon, unfortunately, we are 0 for 3. He is number 1 in restarts. He is number 1 in restarts, number 1 in speed, number 1 in defense, and 8th in passing. Wild, right?
William Byron's first in 3 of the 4 categories.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
He's also number 1 in points too, Clon.
Technically is the points leader right now.
He is our regular season points leader at the moment.
Maybe I'm trying to poke a hole in these stats. I think I'm being very pessimistic, but yeah, I think they might be onto something here.
All right, moving on here to
second points. Anyway, whatever. Okay.
Moving on here to Josh Berry. Mr. Berry got his first win in Vegas, Clon. was pretty
I'll
awesome.
take it back too. Kyle Larson made second points. Not having that bad of a year, but I'm sorry. Keep going. What stat
No,
are we
you're
looking
good.
at for Josh?
Josh Berry, we are going to look at speed. Clon, speed. Don't forget to calculate in your dirty and clean air in the equation, Clon.
This is gonna be lower than whatever you say.
Okay. Are you sure? Because the number is
what would the number have
11.
been? Lower.
Clon, he's 10th in speed. You are
God
0 for
dang.
4.
Wow.
Clon,
Okay.
we got to turn this around here. We got one last one here. You got to get one right.
I'll get one right.
Lock in, Clon. Lock in. Alex Bowman is the driver we're talking about here.
Okay.
I'll let you choose. Passing, defense, speed, or restarts. Which one do you feel most comfortable you'd get right?
Passing.
Passing, okay. So, of the 36 cars, the number that I'll give you is 9. Is he higher or lower, Clon?
That's right where I would have put him. I'm gonna go higher, but 8. God, he's 10, isn't he? I know you go to 1 either way. Yeah, he's 10. That's tough.
I'm sorry, Clon.
I thought he's been pretty fast this year. I thought he'd be up there. But
He's 5th. He's 5th in speed.
Yeah, there you go.
5th in speed, 13th in restarts, 10th in defense, and 10th in passing.
Okay. Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Josh Berry, we forgot to go over it. Josh Berry was 21st in passing. Hey, 21. 19th in defense, 10th in speed, and 16th in restarts. So, kind of all over the place for him. But, all right, that was our fun little game, NASCAR Insights.
Yeah, it was cool. No, I'm glad those are a thing, but yeah.
Yeah, I personally, I like it adding the statistical side of NASCAR. I'm a stats guy when it comes to sports. I like seeing them. I love seeing the QBRs, on quarterbacks. So any way that we can better translate performance on track into a way that fans can understand it brings more people in. All the other stick and ball sports that people enjoy, they really enjoy looking at the stats and stuff. So being able to bring that aspect here to bring more people in through that, it's all good. I like it. Clon. I like it a lot.
Agreed.
Moving on here to Darlington. Clon, we got some great looking throwbacks. I mean, some heaters. Now we got some stinkers. We have one. I should say we have a stinker. Yeah, sorry to say, which we talked about last week. Unfortunately, my guy here, Chase Elliott, it wasn't great. But his teammates understood the assignment. I mean, wow. The other Hendrick cars, the Penske guys look great. Ryan Blaney's was so cool. Doing his dad's. It looks great. Man, so I gotta ask you, what are you most excited about to see this upcoming weekend on the track? What throwback?
Well, I think the biggest thing I was going to kind of add to that is for the last couple of years, people have been saying we should stop with throwback weekend.
Why? It's just fun.
We've used all the good ones.
We're having fun.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I keep doing it because every year it comes back.
Yeah.
I do kind of in my head start thinking okay, well, all the good ones that I can think of are gone. What are we can't repeat from the last couple of years. So what are we going to do? And to be honest, I'm shocked every year. When Ryan pulls out his dad's or the things they come up with, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Jumping first look, Kyle Larson's is my favorite. Just flat out say it even because that's just
5 hot rod. Whoa.
It's fun to see your childhood era brought back to life a little bit, and that is that Terry Labonte scheme is basically the one of the first 4 or 5 that I remember as a kid. So super cool to see that. I don't know. The
throwbacks are great.
Yeah, there you go.
That's terrible. Good. That was terrible.
I mean,
don't be
as long as you understand that he's driving a Tony the Tiger car, that makes it better. What you're trying to do. As long as we knew that.
Then I will ask you who wins this weekend, and don't take my pick. Do this every time.
Well, you can pick first if you want.
No. I picked first last week, and you picked the winner. So clearly second place. Clearly second. Yeah, of course, the one time we switch it. The one time I get my first pick at the winner, and I'm wrong, and you just happen to just pick the guy that hasn't won there in a decade, Clon.
I would have
Clon,
never got that right if you'd asked me.
Clon, a decade ago, I was 12. I was 12 a decade ago.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Gosh, dude.
I was signed up for college by this time 10 years ago, so that's really weird to think. But thanks for making another daily episode of making me feel old. Never fall short of doing that on this show.
Sorry, Clon. I do it to Austin too on accident. I really don't mean to.
Yeah, I'm sure he takes it really well. That guy.
Yeah, dude.
He
has got a panic to him when it comes to age, dude.
Yeah.
I swear to God, every time we have a conversation, he's like, 27, dude. 27. I'm 27. Like, just wait till you're 27. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. 27 is still very young, dude. You could be a lot older. It is okay.
I wonder if he started eating pudding and applesauce like the rest of us and riding around in a wheelchair, because I mean that's what we all do at 27. No, yeah, he takes it to the absolute extreme. Like,
he totally does.
We got time. We're not retiring and moving into nursing homes tomorrow. Like,
we talk about Austin so much on this podcast. We need to bring him on one day.
We should. Be awesome. Never
we totally should.
Never seen a 20-something-year-old worry more about age than him. Like, just actual genuine concern of like, oh my God, guys, we're so old.
dude, you're not even 30.
Like, no, not even close. A couple years. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's so funny.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, you do never fall short of making sure I feel old around you, which is good, but that's all right.
Sorry, buddy.
That's right. Because I was just going to say the same thing about that. Like, it's just fun to see. Like, I kind of said it already, but yeah, seeing Kyle's and like as you get more of these paint schemes and stuff, just seeing other drivers pick stuff from their childhoods and everything. Like, it's cool. No matter when your child, like, we're to the point now where no matter when your childhood was, besides the last, obvious, I'd say you probably got to be 20 something to get some sort of fun out of it, but something for everybody with Throwback Weekend, I guess, is kind of my point. Like, there's something for a memory from everything, but
100%. Well, who's your pick for this weekend for the winner?
Yeah, sorry, went off tangent.
I was like, yep, okay. So who's your pick for the winner?
Just so you know, yeah. I was actually buying time trying to think. No, Kyle Larson again.
Kyle Larson. Okay, I like it.
Man, it is a Monday for me, dude. I tell you what, I am everywhere. Picking the coolest looking car.
Let's go with a car that was extremely fast here last year. Actually wrecked with a guy and caused both of them not to finish this race. Let's go Tyler Reddick. There's a lot of aspect of ripping the fence here. It's almost like it has many of the same characteristics and traits that Homestead can have at times. So I like a guy that can rip the fence here. You already took the rip the fence master. So let's go Tyler Reddick. And he hasn't got a win this year. 45 teams been really solid. They've been up there contending, been in the top 10 all year. So they're bound to get their first win. And don't be surprised. I don't want to just pick 23-11 because that's not fair. But don't be surprised if it's Bubba either. That's another thing that we haven't talked about yet on this podcast. Since it started happening. Bubba is on a run right now, dude. He looks fantastic. Like, to start this year, this is the best start that 23 team could have ever wished, hoped, prayed on, whatever you want to say for. Like, I have been ridiculously impressed with the 23 team to start this year. They've just been solid at all aspects, contending in races. And I'm not saying contending like they're in the top 10. No, they down the stretch, 30 to go, they're fighting for the lead. Like, it's been a good start to the year for the 23.
Definitely. No, I think that's a testament to what everybody's kind of talking about with Bubba. Those that have more of an understanding of the sport to get past him as a driver.
Bubba Lever.
More to it. Yeah. I think it just shows how important that crew chief change maybe was, and that's no disrespect to Booty Barker. Like, I think he's a great character for the sport, but something was obviously missing the last couple of years where they get close and just fall short. And no, I don't know. I know he doesn't have all of the finishes you'd imagine. Like, he went COTA 20th, but he was good at COTA until that passing violation, whatever. And then there was something else too throughout the day. Phoenix 29th and Vegas 28th. Like, you take those middle three races out.
Well, those two, he was involved in wrecks after contending all day too. So
Exactly.
it's like, man,
Vegas especially, and then Phoenix, another track where he was better, and like last 2 weeks, third and third. I was telling my wife, who's still kind of obviously very much so learning about the sport, was even kind of pointing out how he was doing, and it's the best way to go about winning in the sport is you stack some top fives, even top threes like this. You're just gonna end up. It's gonna end up just working out.
Right. Well,
gotta be consistent.
Oh, for sure. And that's part of our sport as like a huge sense. Like, put yourself in that position and luck will eventually reward you. With how many times have we seen that? Like at literally Daytona 500 this year, William Byron was in no place to win that race, other than the fact that if a wreck happened, he was in place to win that race, and it had to happen perfectly to where it took everybody around him out but him. It's just kind of the old rule of just being there and praying that when crap hits the fan, it just doesn't hit you. You were standing in front of the one blade when it hit, so it didn't hit you. So just continuing to put themselves into a consistent cycle of possibly winning a race. Eventually it's going to reward them. It will. Moving on here, we have our final four, Clon, all one seeds. Did you have that in your bracket?
No. I would never, even if it was a tournament like this where there were a lot of experts going into it saying it was possible, I'd never do it. I don't believe in it.
It's tough because, man, like right now those guys are probably like, yes, I was 100% right, but also you're like, oh, I really was that person that chose all chalk the whole way through. It's not a win. It's not a win.
Yeah, I guess to that point, I don't know. If you're the person that does it every year, then I wouldn't give you the credit.
Now that guy is celebrating right now.
Right, that's what I mean. Like if you're very chalky in your bracket every year, then wouldn't count as much. But if you're somebody that gets a little wild with it and crazy, and then the one year you decide to pick the one seeds, they actually all do win it, then you deserve credit, I guess. But
I will say I did have 3 1 seeds in my bracket, but I thought Houston would have got taken out by either Tennessee or Kentucky, and I had Kentucky beating Tennessee, so I was wrongfully mistaken.
Kentucky in that one as well, and then I had St. John's. No, I didn't have St. John's. I had Kentucky and Michigan State. Yep.
Michigan State beating Auburn. Yep. And that was a very possible situation as well. Hey, Purdue almost took out Houston as well, too, so it's close.
Arguably should have taken out Houston.
It still hurts. Anyways, who's your March Madness champion? Now we got our 4-1 seeds in. You got Duke, Houston, Auburn, and Florida.
Yeah, I did pick them in my bracket. It is a 1 seed, and a lot of people talk that way. I guess if you pick your champion as like a considerable favorite, I don't look
it's fine
down on that as much, but I picked Florida, so I think it's Florida Duke in the final. I'm hoping it's Florida Duke in the final, and I think the Gators just a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more veteran presence, more experience.
Well, I think that we couldn't have had a better.
Duke is super impressive.
Yeah, I think we couldn't have had a better layout to our Final Four. We are going to have Duke, Houston, which is arguably one of the best college offenses of all time versus arguably the best college defense of all time. So that's going to be sick. Dude.
What they did to Tennessee, like Tennessee looked like they didn't have any legs either. Like they looked exhausted, but dude, that's one way to show how exhausted you are is play a defense like Houston. That is brutal.
Yeah, and then you look at the other 1 seeds. You look at Florida and Auburn, the best team in the tournament and the most complete team in the tournament facing off. 2 SEC teams in this year's bracket, which the SEC was the conference this year in college basketball. So, man, I mean, it's going to be awesome. I think that Florida. So in my bracket, like mine that I didn't submit it, I had Auburn and I had Duke. But looking back on it now, if I could change it, the guard play from Florida is just too good, I think.
Nasty.
I think it's just too good. I'll take Florida Duke and give me Duke for the championship because Cooper Flagg is just nasty. It's just that simple.
Yeah, he is
Sometimes it
too.
just boils
Yep.
down to it. He's the new Larry Bird.
I mean, the fact that the kid was practicing with the frickin' Olympic team last summer as like the only non-NBA player, that tells you a little something. So
Yeah. Yeah, and he was doing runs with him and he was scoring consistently. So
yeah, like playing
He's-
halfway as well. Like that's
Yeah.
insane. So
he's going to be disgusting. Like actually, he's going to be insane in the NBA. Look out for him coming up in the next couple of years.
And the kid, I learned this today, actually. Shout out to the Pat McAfee show. He reclassified as a high school junior to become a senior last year in high school and graduated early. So he's technically only supposed to be, he's 18. He's supposed to graduate from high school this year. And he was already at Duke, finished.
Dude, oh my God.
So he's a year even ahead. He's technically a high school senior doing this, and that's incredible.
Can you imagine if he would have stayed? There's just some poor kid showing up for the game after Algebra 2 homework he had just finished. And just gets he just finished his paper.
Pissed.
Mom and dad just totally ripped his ass because his report card was not where it needed to be. And now he's got to go guard Cooper Flagg. No, thanks. Don't sign me up.
Wanted to go take it out his frustrations on the basketball court on somebody, and he gets Cooper Flagg to take it out on. And
right. Good luck, pal.
Hit for 47, 15, and 20.
Dude, I'd be so mad.
Those high school games couldn't even have looked real.
Oh, no.
I mean, he went to Mount Verde or whatever in Florida, I think. But
yep.
So that's a little bit better. It won't look quite like a high school basketball game, but still, like what he was doing out there had to be just the dumbest.
Right. Well, I mean, they still play like regular high school teams too. Like that still happens. Like it's, like, yes, they go play the IMGs and the prep schools and stuff like that. Like that's for sure. That's the vast majority of their season. Schedule. But they still play somewhat of a high school schedule. Like they still go and play your local community high school and just, oh my God, it's like a bloodbath. It's
why
like,
is that even a thing?
It would be like if you tossed a bunch of kittens into a pit with lions. It's just like, this is gonna be messy. It's not gonna end well. It's just not gonna end well for you. Clon, it's that time, brother. Before we end the episode, here we go.
1.
Boom!
Let's go.
All right, can we go 2 for 2?
Let's go 4.
4, here we go. Oh, should have doubled down.
I thought about it, but that's the chalky pick. Can't do it.
Well, that's tough.
My God, these scores bad. I just found Mount Verde's schedule last year. Holy smokes.
Dude, it's bad. It's really bad. Actually, I want to go look at this too. Actually, can you share the screen? Share your screen real quick so we can all get this together as a community.
I got to
a lot of grandmas watching. Come on.
Yeah, that's just it. I got to know.
People have been telling their grandmas about us. They are watching.
All right, here you go.
Here we go. So 33-0. Oh my God.
They won 12 conference games, which is not very many. So I'm assuming that's what you were talking about, where they actually play like a high school schedule. But
yeah,
those are in Utah. Don't care as much. These had to be Huntsville and South Lake have to be actual. I mean, those are
actual high schools. Yes, 118-28. That's like your high school, Clon. It's the one that you attend. You go to, the average kid goes to, and you just show up to your game and you're like, oh, yay, who's Montverde Academy? Wonder what they're all about. And next thing you know, an NBA player is dunking on Karen's child. Let's see. Hey, 78-72. That's a prep school again.
They only play in tournaments, it looks like.
La Lumiere, that's in Indiana.
Didn't have much for them that day, but
no, they did not. It looks like it.
Yeah, these are Oak Hill. These are all mostly. It's crazy how many of these schools are just straight up like college, high school.
Yeah, Gonzaga
Portland,
College High School.
Maine.
Isn't that wild? Gonzaga
Long
College High
Island,
School is where
Lutheran.
Caleb Williams went.
Oh yeah.
You know that?
Okay. Good to
And
know.
then Oak Hill is where
Is,
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, Carmelo. That's who.
Then who else we got here? Cats
Our
Academy. That's what I was telling you earlier about throwing 2 kittens in with a bunch of
Cats
lions.
yeah. Looks like it. Yep. That looks about right.
That's it right there. Yeah.
Man, this is quite something.
That's a high school game, dude. What is that? 103. The biggest one is that 118 to 28. That's a 90-point game. South Lake.
Preseason or South Lake. God bless whoever
Oh,
South Lake is.
Hey,
Sorry
God bless
to hear.
South Lake, bro.
Crazy.
Oh my God. Could you imagine being a South Lake basketball player?
No.
Oh, please no. All right, Clon. We've turned the back 5 minutes of this show into a basketball podcast real quick.
We're getting good at that.
We are. We're doing really good at it. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Clon, you got anything else for him?
Nah.
Wait, let's hear. Yeah, here. Go ahead. Pray for what? This will be fun.
I was just gonna say pray for soft tires.
Pray for soft tires. Clon, let's hear the outro, man. Give us an outro. I want to hear it.
Oh man, not on the spot like this. This is gonna be tough.
It's gonna be the best.
I need a hook.
Tell your grandmas.
See that? Yeah, but that's yours. Okay, whatever. I got it. I'll borrow yours, but
all right.
But again, look, honestly, guys, thank you for listening and watching every week. It's cool to hear different people saying things or the texts you get. I'm sure Wyatt, you get a bunch of that too, but really do appreciate it. That wraps up episode 17. Make sure you tell your grandmas about us, and thanks for tuning in.
Yeah!